I got a mysterious package from Call of Duty, and inside the box was another box with a logo on it that said Call of Duty Next. When we first opened it up, I'm greeted by a few cards. The first card is absolutely insane. It's an invitation to go and play Modern Warfare 3 early. And that's exactly what I'm gonna be doing on October 5th. If you remember from last year, Call of Duty Next brought out a ton of content creators from all around the world to play Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 early. This year with Modern Warfare 3, we will be playing Modern Warfare 3 and the new Warzone experience as well. This is something that is a dream come true for me and absolutely surreal. The next card is hanging instructions for what we're about to see. With every invite sent out, they also sent this little gift, which is a statue or something that you can hang on the wall, and it is incredibly cool. It's one of the logos for Modern Warfare 3 in 3D, and I think it is freaking awesome. But there's one problem. Everybody got the same one. And if you're not new to the channel, then you already know where this is going. But if you are new to the channel, we are about to take this thing to the next level. You better hit that sub button when we're done. So to start, we spray down the whole thing with black primer. This just gives us a clean and even surface to work on because we are going to be painting the entire thing over. So after that dries, we bring it into my setup where we start the base coat of red on the skull. We're going to be turning this thing into the absolute classic red tiger camo. And once we get an even coat down on the skull, I then go in with a little bit of a darker red to just work on some of the shadows and give the skull a little bit more depth. Then, of course, the most important part of the red tiger camo is the black stripes or pattern. This was super fun to paint, and I had an absolute blast doing it. If you want to recreate this camo yourself, just take your time and have some fun with it. I originally drew out a couple of shapes, but I only did that for a couple of them, and then I kind of just went with the flow and saw where the piece took me. So then after I was done with all the stripes and the patterns, I then went in with a base coat on the snake, and I didn't do a full base coat. I still wanted some of that black to shine through, so I just dry brushed some light gray all over the surface, and it just brought out a bunch of those details. But we will get back to the snake after we do the base. And for the base, I thought just black or like tarnished was gonna be a little bit boring. Not boring, but I think we could do better. So I wanted to make it look kind of rusty and, you know, give it some antique feel. This piece I feel should really look like rugged. So to do that rust effect, we used a bunch of different browns and oranges. So I start with a dry brush of dark brown, which you can barely really see on top of the black, but it's a very good base. And then on top of that, we keep building and building and building with oranges and stuff like that. And I think we got a pretty good effect for that kind of rust color. Then for something in my mind, I think gold was going to look really good on the ammunition or the bullets that are surrounding the skull. And I think gold and red together just look really nice. So we dry brushed a bunch of gold onto the rounds, and then I also did it on the letters around the base as well. And once we did this, things really started to pop, but I wanted to give it just a little bit more depth. So I went in with a silver as well, and that contrast or the mixture of the silver and the gold just really looks cool in my opinion, especially on the ammunition. I think it looks awesome. Then we go back to the snake, and I'm taking that same silver, which is gilding wax. You've seen me use it in videos before. I love this stuff. It just goes on so nice, and it gives it such a nice like antique feel, but still metallic. And that's what we decided to do on the snake. So a lot of the gray that we did earlier was kind of a base for this, and I just love the way that this looks. Just brings out all those details and all that good stuff, and I think it looks really cool. With that done, I painted in some details like the eyeballs on the snake and the tongue and stuff like that. But now it is time for my favorite part, and that is the washes. And I used two different washes on this one. The first is a red wash, and I put this all over the surface of the skull just to kind of fill in some of those details and just give it a little bit more depth and just a little bit of character with that red wash. It also goes over the black parts, which kind of gives it a cool effect. But something that I didn't really intend to do initially, but I loved it once I started, was when I was dabbing off the red, I got it onto the snake itself in a few spots, and I was like, wait, that looks like a little bit of blood stain, and that looks really freaking cool. So I'm gonna go with it, and I actually added it to a few more parts on the snake, and I love the effect that it did, but it was a little bit too strong. So that's where the black wash comes in. And the black wash we put over the entire piece. I just drenched the whole thing pretty much in the black wash. And then as we're blotting it away, that kind of tones down some of that red and also some of the metallic that we have on the snake. It also just kind of dirties up and just makes it look, you know, a little bit more interesting, especially on the skull part. It's not just straight up red anymore. And yeah, I freaking love this thing. And here are the final shots. Boom. I really hope you enjoy this one, and be sure to tune in on October 5th, where I get to broadcast live on my Kick channel, brand new gameplay, exclusive Modern Warfare 3 stuff if you are into that. And hopefully we'll see you there, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.